Good morning, Evelyn. Everyone, this is Evelyn Turan. I'm recently doing some part-time work in Fort McMurray. We flooded out a couple of weeks ago. I'm in Gregoire at a campground right now. This is my camper. This is how I live. It's gotten me through some cold and winter nights. There's what it looks like. There's where I keep storage. This is the inside. This is my whole space in my camper. And I'm sitting on my bed talking to you. I'm able to get internet because of the hotel that I'm camping at. In their hotel parking lot, I'm across from the Harley Davidson place. Anyways, I was able to get some pickup work part-time in Fort McMurray at one of the local restaurants. They're open full-time now. Not as busy as they would like to be, but it's brand new opening on the 14th. And I work for them every day, a couple of hours every day, because they already have their full-time staff waiting to be called back to work. However, in my labor dispute, well, they reinstated my benefits yesterday, something I haven't had medical benefits or dental for a while. I've also got extra coverage coming to me pertaining to death or dismemberment, which I had no idea why, and free complimentary for 2 years. I don't have to pay for it. They're sending me my will kit and things like that. So I know that we won our labor dispute, but still haven't seen our money. Um, the organization I'm involved in says it doesn't matter. They've made their decisions, and I haven't seen a dime that's owed to me. Because they wouldn't give me my private pension in financial distress, I lost my house. I had to sell my truck. I had to let go of the house I had. I lost my apartment, lost all my furniture, had to downsize everything. Because for the first year I was living in my truck, I completely had a nervous breakdown because of them. Try living in a truck in 40 below. It's not easy. Not all of us are homeless because of mental disease or drug addictions or alcoholism. A lot of us are homeless because of corporate companies not paying the workers or holding back. When you hold back monies from somebody, it's illegal. So I've got some paperwork here under the Constitutional Act in 1982. It's your guaranteed rights and freedoms and Canadian Charter of Rights with your democratic rights, everything like that. Legal rights. Everyone has a right to life, liberty, and security of the person and the right not to be deprived thereof, exceptional in accordance with the principles of fundamentals and justice. Now, in my situation, I've gone through, which I would have never believed it myself, under Canadian legislation, specific criminal laws against trafficking in persons in the criminal code, TIP in capital letters. This is how you would look it up online. 6 offenses in the criminal code specifically address human trafficking. Now, I would have never, ever believed that I would be a victim of this, but oh my God, I am. And who would believe it in this country, in Canada today? So many people think human trafficking is buying somebody from another country and holding them captive. It isn't just that. Okay. Canadian legislation states specific criminal laws against trafficking in persons TIP in the criminal code. 6 offenses in the criminal code specifically address human trafficking. A, trafficking in persons under section 279.01, which carries a maximum penalty of life imprisonment and a mandatory minimum penalty of 5 years where the offense involved kidnapping, aggravated assault, aggravated sexual assault, or death, and a maximum penalty of 14 years and a mandatory minimum penalty of 4 years in all other cases. Trafficking of a person's underage of 18 years is 279.011. I don't fall in that one. However, I fall under C, receiving a financial or other material benefit for the purpose of committing or facilitating trafficking in persons, adult victims, subsection 279.02, bracketed 1, which carries a maximum penalty of 10 years imprisonment. See, it's right here. I have it. I printed it out. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. I circled it. This is for criminal fraud. Now, I'll read the back of the page. Trafficking in a persons is about exploitation and does not necessarily involve movement. For the purpose of the trafficking offenses, the criminal code states that a person exploits another person if they, number one, cause someone to provide or offer to provide labor or a service by engaging in conduct that in all circumstances could reasonably be expected to cause the other person to believe that their safety or the safety of a person known to them would be threatened if they failed to provide or offer to provide the labor of service. Then it goes cause of persons by means of deception to use or threat force of any other form coercion to have an organ or tissue removed. So I don't fall under that one. Now, under tip, other provisions under the criminal code which address tip, trafficking in persons, related offenses, other criminal code offenses can also be used by police and crown prosecutors depending on the facts and circumstances of the case. They include kidnapping, forcible confinement, uttering threats, extortion, assault, sexual assault, aggravated sexual assault, prostitution related offenses, and criminal organization offenses. So I fall under uttering threats, extortion, assault, sexual assault, criminal organization offenses. The other ones I don't fall under because I wasn't prostituted, I wasn't kidnapped, and I wasn't in forcible confinement. But I was being sexually assaulted and harassed. Specific offenses in the Immigration and Refugee Protection Act, targeted cross-border trafficking, falls under Section 118. The offense is punishable by life imprisonment and a fine up to $1 million, which falls under IRPA, Immigration and Refugee Protective Act, which that would go towards other people that work with me, but has nothing to do with me, myself. So I had to file my own, right? And then it goes under international treaties and whatnot. So yeah, those are what I fall under, and I've got everything here. And if anybody wants to look into legislation for themselves with equality of rights and everything, I photocopied this at the federal government office under the Constitutional Act in 1982. Now, this falls under federal laws and federal fraud. Now, if nobody wants to believe me on this, for human trafficking being a serious crime, you can look it up under tip, under the trafficking of a person's 27901, which carries the maximum penalty, and so on and so on. And then mine falls under 279.02 because that's what was done to me. And then under E, also it says withholding or destroying a person's identity documents, for example, a passport, for the purpose of committing or facilitating trafficking of that person. An adult victim falls under subsection 279.03, bracketed 1, which carries a maximum penalty of 5-year imprisonment. So this is what I got through our Department of Justice online. So if you look down at the bottom here, it's right there. I don't know if you guys can read it or not. I'm showing it as best as I can. I don't know if it's, but see those sections in the right-hand corner over here on this side here? This will help you guys look up stuff if you need to look it up. Do your homework, everybody that is in the workplaces, so that this doesn't happen to you. This is what's happened to me. I can't speak for everybody else, but I can speak for me. I do know what was done to me. I know that by law, you're not allowed to hold back a person's monies at all whatsoever for the purpose to make money off of it, etc., etc. Subsections 2 and 3 do not preclude any law, program, or activity that has its object to amelioration in a province or conditions of individuals in that province who are socially or economically disadvantaged if the rate of employment in the province is below the rate of employment in Canada. Now, yeah, so these are things that I had to look up to protect myself. By no means am I a lawyer. By no means am I a police officer. Uh, um, I've gone through a lot to stay alive and make ends meet. I'm still waiting for monies that's owed to me. I still have not received it. Anyways, I did a little bit of research with federal fraud and human trafficking and indentured servitude, and that's how I file a lot of stuff. So if people don't believe me, now I've posted what the paperwork is, how to look it up, and do your own research. If you're having problems in your workplaces against bullying, hazing, sexual harassment, sexual assault, companies holding back your monies, things like that, that information is readily available online under the governmentofcanada.gc.ca under federal laws. You got to look up federal criminal code. It all falls under criminal code. It's not just going to be under labor relations and human rights. It literally falls under criminal code, and you need to know the words to look up. If you look up the words federal fraud under the federal government statutes, the information is astronomical there. And there's lots of education there for anybody to learn. Have a nice day. Evelyn Charan, good luck. Goodbye.